Oh,
I was like, I forgot it. I thought everybody wanted to do the wedding hymn. I don't know. I got married here, man. I got it on video. It's like 5 minutes long.
5-minute wedding?
Yeah.
Roasting, it's not my forte, but I would try. What? And, I thought we were going to be doing a roast to the pastor, but prior to Clay coming up, kind of went off in a different direction. And we all know about different directions because we get to view it every Sunday. It usually starts off this way. Good morning, Bethel! When we preach out the book, Nebuchadnezzar, verse 37. But I would do my best to pay homage to a man who has the focus of a squirrel. Yeah. Off its riddling. Looking for that special nut. Pretty much like that thing at the beginning of every Ice Age movie. Every time I see that, I'm thinking, there's Jamie. You can't help but love it and feel bad for it at the same time. A lot of people keep making fun of you, Jamie. But in all fairness, you bring it to yourself.
That's true.
You have no problem starting anything. You have no problem helping anybody. But it's usually at the cost of your kids. I remember when I needed help with my driveway, getting the water line. Jamie said, I'll be there to help you out. I'm thinking, great, Jamie's come up there to help me. He comes up there, handful of kids. All right, boys, start digging. And he goes inside, talks to my wife. Fine. What's up with that? I thought you were going to help me. He goes, I am. I brought help. Fair enough. Fair enough. You do have this. Go ahead. I wouldn't know. I was outside working with the rest of the men.
Ow.
Jamie does have a special way with words, because he tends to make them up as he goes along.
Amen.
There are times he looks at me and he'll kind of shake his head during the sermon. I'm looking at him, shaking my head back, and he goes, well, people are looking at me differently during the end of that message. I'm thinking, well, I probably don't understand half the things you're saying. He's inappropriate. Mm-hmm. One thing I can say about our pastor, beyond a shadow of a doubt, he knows inappropriate and he comes off so easily. Mm-hmm. I can contest to this. I can't tell you how many times during the beginning years of starting here at Bethel, Jamie spent more time doing this. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. And he grabbed my butt more times than my wife would. That's not to say anything against my wife. That's something to say a lot about our pastor. He's a hands-on kind of guy. She's right. John, you've taught him well. There's so much that we can tease you about. There's so much that we can use at your expense. There's so many things that other people have said about you today. About all the different situations you're in, circumstances, events in the community and around the church. But the thing is, the one thing they all said about it was you were there. Every single time. If you look at our community, how many times you see the rest, and I by no means am I putting anyone down, but when you look in the community, how many times you see the other multitude of churches building up their people, building up their pastors?
Amen.
There's a lot to say about that, but we'll get to that later. But for now, can't just get all teary-eyed yet. He's always encouraging people. But it's always one of those kind of compliment, kind of, I don't know what they used to, I don't know what they call it. It's like they would teach guys how to say something positive, negative about something at the same time. And the women, well, I think guys learn from the women because women do it a lot. But Jamie used to say to them, "That's a great job. You did a great job on that tape. Fantastic." I would have tried it this way. Why is that? He has experience. He has a lot of love and compassion. When I tell people about the pastor that I have, I always tell them, well, if you do come visit, I know that sounded almost sarcastic. It didn't mean to sound sarcastic. But I don't work in this area. I don't even live in this area. I live in Calhoun County. I mean, it's close to Cleburne, but still, everything I do is further off. So I can't really pour into people to get them to come to our church. Mm-hmm. They don't want to make that drive. Especially when you say it's in Cleburne County. But when I do tell people about my pastor, they say, well, can you explain him? I said, well, he has a love for God. But if you look at him, you can't tell that he's a pastor just by his external appearance. How many other pastors you see that kind of looks like Joe Pesci back from the 80s Saturday Night Live? With the tattoos, the bulked out chest. You got your belt buckle on today? No belt buckle on today. So it is true. Haley did pick out your clothes. I'll wear a t-shirt. Jamie, you are a good man. Your vocabulary is something special. There's a lot of times, I don't know if you're speaking in tongues or if you're just trying to use regular English. When you get excited, it's amazing. It's fantastic. I've never seen somebody so empowered, so direct, and so focused. And then at the drop of a dime, he's off another tangent. You know how they say that? People tend not to get to left field and you have to steer him back. It's like watching the trip all by itself. You just sit back there and you watch him. He'll start here. He'll start off on this conversation, veer further left, come back to the right, come back, and he's right back where he started. He might have hit 15 different topics, but it starts and stops at the same point. There's a skill to that. He uses that ADD to his advantage. But I'm not going to sit up here and bust your chops any more than I have to. I was asked. They want people that know you and love you and can see the different sides of you. There's a lot to this, to you and your family, that these people really have not seen. They see the effects, but they don't see the work. But for now, I used to go to school with people like you. We used to call them preps, call them yuppies. You were the ones that were always sitting in the back, making fun of everybody, pretending you could do everything. First ones to throw a party, last ones to commit to anything. always had your agenda. I never got along with people like you, to be honest with you. I was always on the other side. Always the other side. But I'm glad to say, over the generations, I'm glad it worked out. And I know you've had a lot of traumatic, oh, sorry, that was a Jamieism. I know you've had a lot of trauma in your life. And I believe a lot of times that the problems that you have, it's not your fault. Through your own testimony, you did say you got thrown out of a vehicle and your head hit a telephone pole. You always talk about how your head got cracked open. I'm willing to bet there's no telephone pole there. I'm willing to bet he took it off. It was a solid hit. And it shows. In all seriousness, I love you and your family. And thank you. You're a good man.